Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is so very special. It's a 3 palette 3 looks video, and today we are going to dive into Don't Be Jelly palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. This palette is such a beautifully curated palette. I cannot wait for you guys to see the look that I created using this palette. This is just an amazing, genius color story in my opinion. So spring summer appropriate. I love this one. Next, we are going to dip into the Cheeryup Fleeting Life palette. You know how much I love this palette. This is like a cool tone color story dream. You definitely get your grays, mauves, purpley tones with a pop of red. I love this palette. This is the palette that I'm wearing on my eyes right now. Wait till you see it in action. And last, certainly not the least, we're going to dip into the Bitten palette from Gourmande Girls. And this is definitely more vampy, more purpley, burgundy leaning palette. Cannot wait for Gourmande Girls to be in action. Like, I really love all this format of eyeshadow palettes that I have in my collection, and I pretty much have the entire collection in with me. I so love each and every one of them. I do have an affiliate code with Gourmande Girls, and it is Smithy Sony to save you 10% off. Now, once you're ready, let's begin with the 3 looks using all these palettes. So let's begin with our first look. Today I'm going to office and wish me luck because this is a colorful palette. We're going to dip into Unearthly Cosmetics Don't Be Jelly palette, and I am planning to dip into greens and blues. You might have guessed with my top. So I'm going to start off with this Lagoon shade, and then I'm going to like blend it out with this green shade, which is C4. So let's begin and see where we go. Let's start off with that Lagoon, which is the blue. I love this palette very much, but yes, of course it is colorful and we are well aware of it. I don't have like big meetings. I have one actually, but it's okay. Let's see how we roll. So that I would say this is more like a royal purple. It's not like a navy. So it's definitely vibrant, as you can see. And I am going to deepen the outer corners out. You might have guessed it anyways. And I will deepen it out with the Sea Urchin shade, which is more of a burgundy. So when I mix this blue and the burgundy, it gives like more of a deeper blue on the outer corners. So I'm going to just keep that as like a background shade for my eye look. Now time to dip into the green sea foam shade. I love that shade. Green and blue combination is absolutely amazing. I'm going to take that in the outer edge of that blue, melting it with the crease. I feel like the color combination is so pretty for spring. I was like, if I don't use this for spring, I don't know when am I going to use it. I was like, this is perfect for spring. Let's just bring it up. So pretty. Love it. I'm going to take that all across the crease. And I'm also going to take this shade in the inner part of the lower lash line too. I'm going very messily right now because, you know, we are going to dip into shimmers. My aim is just to blend the edges right now and to get some pigment here in the inner part of the crease just for a peekaboo. I'm going to take that same shade Seafoam on the inner part of the lower lash line, just right there. I'm going to take a smaller brush with that Sea Urchin shade, which is that deeper burgundy purple shade, and that would be our main lower lash line shade, at least in the outer corners. And kept it really tight lined with closer to my lash line. I'm going to take that Sea Urchin shade on the extreme outer corners right there. Okay, you can see immediately when I tap that burgundy over the blue, it creates more of like a deeper navy blue. It's just perfect for this palette because we do have purples also in this palette, and when you combine it with purple, it becomes like burgundy. If it combines it with like blue, it darkens it out to a navy blue. So versatile. I'm just gonna dip a little bit back into that blue because I don't wanna lose that blue. Where did I use that blue? Because I don't wanna lose that blue. And I'm just gonna tap the edges of that burgundy. Just like that. Okay, time for shimmers. I am gonna take a little bit of NYX glitter glue just because this Unearthly palette shimmers is definitely a little bit more stiff. If that makes sense. So I am gonna take it. Just gonna take a little bit of help with my NYX glitter glue. Just tap it right there. Now we have so many options with shimmers here, and all of them are just very beautiful. You can totally go Hydro Space. It is going to be amazing with that look, or you can just take the multichrome aspect out and just dip into the blues or the greens. I'm feeling more blues and greens today. Or should I do Hydro Space? Let me swatch it and see. That's amazing. I feel Hydro Space definitely packs a punch, but let's see. I'm going to start off with the Sea Space shade, the deeper blue. And I'm going to take that right as a mending shade. Yep. Because that will definitely help to mend the shimmers into the mattes. It's more like a deeper blue to a purple shifting shade. I am going to take that Hydro Space shade, the multichrome. This one. And I'm going to take that. And melt it with that blue purple shade. That shows up like a blue to a pink, purple shifting multichrome. It's amazing. I definitely want to take that green shimmer also. First, just melt everything out, which these two are looking amazing together. I'm going to take a smaller brush with that green shade. Let me clean this brush off. With the shade Brine, this one. And I'm going to take Brine on the inner corner, but also like on the swoop of my eye, just right there. Yeah, that's so pretty. Super colorful for office, okay? Super colorful for office. But it is what it is. Let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. And this is my final look. I really love the way how this has turned out. I'm getting some reflections from the sun. But yes, excuse about that. But otherwise, I love the way how this eye look turned out. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this eye look. I love this palette. If you do have Don't Be Jelly palette, you know exactly what I mean. I really love the color story, how it is curated in this palette, and I feel like you can do so much with this palette. This palette, I feel like, is a genius color story because everything can go with anything in this palette. The mattes, the shimmers just mend together so beautifully. I cannot wait to wear this to office and see how people react to this. But now let's move on to the next look. Let's begin our next look with the Cheeryup Fleeting Life palette. Oh, I'm so into this palette. I definitely want to dip into this shade. That should be the star of the show today. That's the only thing that I know right now. So let's start beginning our look with the mattes. I am going to take this shade. And this is definitely like a gray blue. And it would definitely go well with the sweater that I'm wearing. So let's apply that on the crease. Really pretty. I love that. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of this mauve shade. They are pretty much of the same depth, so I'll just keep that in mind. But I'm going to take that in the outer portion of the crease, melting with that gray blue shade. So I'm just going to place it right here, as you can see. Now for the outer corner, I'm going to dip into this shade, this one, right there. Such a pretty shade. Now I'm gonna take this shade, this one, and I'm just melting that deeper gray purple shade that we applied right now and just softening the edges. Okay, I'm also gonna take that same shade on the lower lash line. I'm taking the mauve shade and I'm also taking that across the lower lash line just to blend everything out and just soften everything. Okay, now time for the shimmer. I am gonna take that shade, this shade. This is definitely a smoother, like a waxier shade, and I've never applied this shade all across my eyelid, so that's the main reason why I wanted to dip into this shade, because I wanted to see if it's gonna crease or not. Now mind you, I've not applied any glitter glue because I feel like this is a shade that has enough tack in it, and I would not need, knowing the shadows, and I would not need a glitter glue knowing the shadows, because generally whenever there's like a waxier formula or a emollient formula, I avoid the glitter glue to avoid the creasing. So we're gonna see how this rolls, and I'll update it on the screen how it's gonna wear throughout the day. Did I experience any creasing or not? Because I'm gonna wear this to office, and that's a good enough time to understand whether this is gonna crease or not. With no additional product, I'm just gonna tap the edges of that shimmer. For the inner corner, I'm gonna take this shade, this silvery shade. I can also go non-shimmer, but oh well. Let's just take this. That's one of my favorite shimmers in the palette. It's more toppery like, but it is so sparkly. I'm just gonna take that just right there and sweep it right there, just to have that little bit of twinkling effect on the eye. Our lid shade that we applied definitely is like a holochrome. I can see so many different specks of like glitter particles. Not chunky or anything, not like rough or anything, but super dimensional. Let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. And that's my final look. I really love the way how this palette is curated. I love that this is cool tone, but it makes it so much more wearable too, with those mauvey tones included in it. I have worn this palette so much in my everyday life, and the quality is right up there. I cannot wait to see what Cheeryup comes in future with these kind of palettes. And if there's a color story that speaks to me, now I would not even like second guess myself, and I can definitely rely on this palette. I really love this. I love the way how this look turned out. Cannot wait to play with this even more. Now let's move on to the next eye look. Let's begin our look with the Bitten palette. This is such a beautiful palette. My aim is to use this shade and maybe this shade together. So we'll see how that rolls. I'm gonna start off with this Hellmouth shade because I wanna pack that right in the outer corner. Not much, but just a tad bit, because this is like a very deep dark shade. So I'm just gonna plop it right there. Again, not taking it too further out in the eye. We definitely can take it later on if we want more depth, but I don't want to overpower my eye right now with that deeper shade. Let's take this shade Fangs, and this is also a deeper shade. So I'm just gonna blend that deep dark shade first that we applied and take Fangs in my crease, and I am applying the lightest pressure possible because that shade definitely can pack a punch. So I'm first depositing all the pigment right around that deeper shade, and then take whatever is left over in the crease. And I'm going to take that same shade Fangs on the lower lash line. I absolutely love this brush, the Morphe Ariel brush. It's a teeny tiny brush, but this comes in so handy and doesn't take it anywhere. It keeps it super close to the lash line. Absolutely a gem to have in the collection. Okay, now before we apply that Bitten shade, I'm going to take a little bit more of Hellmouth. I want to take Bitten on top of that. So I'm just going to take that Hellmouth shade mainly in like the center of my eyelid, because I want to cover the Bitten shade on top of it, and just open the inner part of the eyelid, just right there. Okay, now I'm taking that Bitten shade, this one. It's a beautiful multi-chromey shade. Look at that. Obviously this is gonna be pretty much like a smoky eye. That is so pretty, so pretty. I'm not applying any glitter glue or anything, just pressing it on with my fingers. I'm pretty much taking it all across the eyelid. I'm taking this Euphoria shade, this one. It might match with my sweater a little bit more. And it's a very sparkly shade. So I'm keeping it tight across the inner corner and just blending a tad bit into that smoky shade that we applied. Just a little bit, just for a hint of sparkle. Okay, let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. And that's my look. I love the way how this Bitten palette is curated. It's such a vampy, purpley, burgundy tone eyeshadow palette. But also, if you just dip into that gray and that deepened green shade, that can give you such a beautiful, like a blue-green look. And then top it off with either this shade or any of these shades. It is predominantly a purple palette, but you definitely can get a little bit of variety from here. But this palette is not for a faint of heart. It is definitely a deep and a dark and a smoky palette. You have to go with a light hand if you want to like blend it like my crease shade on my eye. Love it. I love this eye look. I'm so excited to go to office with this full beat smoky eye. Cannot even, you know how much I love my purple. So this palette is definitely high up on my ranking. I really love this. Now let's move on to the outro. Now once you've seen all the three looks in action, do let me know in the comment section below, out of the three looks, which one was your favorite? Was it from the Cheeryup palette? Was it from the Bitten palette? Or was it the Don't Be Jelly look? I really loved all the three looks that I curated for you guys. I love all these three palettes. All of them are very different from each other, but they're also so dimensional. That's what makes it special. I really hope that you guys enjoyed all the three looks. If you did like this video, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.